Healing begins where heart runs the deepest. Let's talk about childhood trauma. Childhood trauma affects every human being that has gone through this kind of trauma at their lowest age. The same childhood trauma affects us in our jobs, in our employment, in our marriages, in our relationships, everywhere. And sometimes it's at a later stage that we identify these challenges of child trauma. At some point, it is too late or it can't be cured because we never put a focus on it. Together with me is Angella Nakasagga, a coach and an inner child trauma coach. She's going to let us know exactly what she does, and she's going to take us through that important aspect in our lives. You're most welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, it's a pleasure having you, and I feel very, very humbled hosting you here on such a great topic of childhood trauma. As Angela, what is childhood trauma and how does it affect us in our lives? Meanwhile, you can introduce yourself and we get to know you more, and then we dive into our topic.
Yeah, my name is Angella Nakasagga, an inner child healing coach and a mental health trainer, also a nurse by profession. I'm so humbled to be here on this podcast and looking forward to sharing more about childhood trauma. Now, childhood trauma are the experiences we go through as children, what we witness, what we are told, what we see our parents do. Everything affects how we see life, how we show up as adults later in life. Whatever happens from the age of 0 to 18, what we see, what we witness in school, at home, in our environments, all these experiences shape how we show up as adults.
Yeah.
It also shapes how we show up in relationships, at workplaces, because these experiences affect the way we see ourselves,
Yeah.
what we call the self-esteem. Now we learn to shrink just to see others shine. We learn to keep quiet or not to speak of whatever we are feeling just because we were never told that it is okay to speak up.
Yeah.
We were never given a chance to express our emotions. And so we learn this as children, and then when we grow up, we still exercise this. When we are going through things, through stress, depression, anxiety, we find it difficult to open up because this is what we know. We are familiar with withdrawing, going into our rooms, hiding and crying from there, because we are not allowed to cry. We are not allowed to laugh even when we feel like. We are not allowed to feel excited. Like if anything excites us, we'll be shut down and be like, no, that is too much. You're not allowed to shout for us. You go do this and that. So everything that happens in childhood affects how we show up as adults. And in relationships, it is even worse because we do not believe in our self-worth. So at some point, we it's like the other person is doing us a favor to love us. Because if my own father, my own auntie, okay, my biological parents, if they never loved me, of course, I do not expect love from anyone else. And when someone comes in genuinely, it feels like an attack. It's like they are planning something. What do they want from me? It's always we are on the alert because my mother told me that, told me that for me to be loved, I have to do a lot for someone to appreciate me, for someone to love me. So I expect you to understand that I actually have to do something to prove to you that I am worth being loved.
Yeah.
So we end up developing what we call the attachment syndromes. We are too needy because now we did not get the love.
Yeah.
We expect everything from you, from
Yeah.
the partner.
Yeah.
So I expect you to be my dad, I expect you to be my sister, my brother, like everything.
Everything. Yeah.
Yes. So it is so tiring to the other person that you cannot do everything for me. So I have to learn to love myself for
Yeah.
me to show up better.
Yeah.
I have to heal
Yeah.
from these traumas. I have to work on my self-worth, to
Yeah.
learn to believe in myself, to learn to believe that I can actually do something,
Yeah.
that I am worth love and everything good this world can offer.
Yeah.
So it is work.
Yes.
Work we need to do. Yes, so many people are not ready to do the work because it is not an easy journey.
Yeah.
We will get the triggers. I normally tell people that when I see a mother and a child, or a father and a child having fun, I feel heaviness in my... Okay, back then, before I started on my healing journey,
Yeah.
I would feel like I would feel that heaviness in my heart, but I didn't know how to explain it.
Yeah.
I just felt like whatever they're doing, why are they even doing that?
Yeah.
But later on, I realized it is because my inner child was communicating to me that
Yeah.
I would love something like that,
Yeah.
because she missed it back then when she was younger. So now I have to learn to give that to her.
Yeah.
So I am holding my little Angela, the
Yeah.
5, 6, 7-year-old, this hand
Yeah.
to home. And home, this is a place where she feels loved, a place where she can express her emotions, a place where she is allowed to speak up,
Yeah.
where she is allowed to cry,
Yeah.
where she is not looked at like she is doing too much or she's asking for too much and it cannot be given.
Yeah.
Yes.
When we talk about, especially, we want to dive into your experience.
Mm-hmm.
I know this is where you've been, and
Yes.
which has affected you, and you've gone through life stages.
Mm.
When you look at somebody that got child trauma, at some point we think we're parenting, and some of the things that we apply to these children, it's parenting.
Yeah.
But how does it come out to be the trauma? Because if your parent is forcing you to do certain things, in order for you to align as a boy child or a girl child,
Yes.
how do we take it as child trauma? How do we equate it to trauma?
To trauma.
Yes.
Yes, parenting is huge, and
Yes.
it is actually a big responsibility.
Yeah.
That if you are not ready for this, I would recommend we do not tamper,
Yeah.
because it comes with responsibilities.
Yeah.
Now, I often say we are not going to blame our parents so much because they did what they thought was right.
That's right. Yeah.
But now, beyond the normal parenting, these parents, we can call them toxic, the
Yeah.
toxic parents,
Yeah.
that instead of talking to a child in a loving way, like, okay, I have done something wrong, and that is like, Angela, what you did, I did not like it.
Yeah.
But then some parents would go like, hey, how stupid can you be? Can't you see that is wrong? But he is talking to a child. She
Yeah.
is talking to a child. So that they're just bursting. Okay, they are being too loud and too abusive.
Yeah.
It is beyond the normal parenting.
Yeah.
Now, where every time you do that to a child,
Mhm.
like, you are blaming them, yes, for something wrong, but the way you bring it out,
Yeah.
the way you talk about it also matters. Now, when does it become trauma? When I do not feel loved,
Yeah.
or cared for.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm a child, and doing mistakes is human. We
Yeah.
all do mistakes, even adults.
Yeah.
But for a child, we expect them to do mistakes. But some parents are too rude, I would say, too rude, that when a child does something, they would go an extra mile, like, okay, being too harsh.
Yeah.
On them. Okay, you did this, you deserve this. Some spank them so much. I remember when I was in my primary 5, I was not performing well. but there was a reason behind it, though no one cared to find out why. And there was a time it was too bad, and my father beat me so hard because I did not perform well. But before you beat that child, have you taken the initiative to check why are they not performing well? Because I had issues at home. I did not feel loved back home. So when I went to school, that was my place of freedom, where I can be me, where I can do anything I wanted. So I only played. I only disturbed my fellow pupils because now I am happy here. Because at home it is, why didn't you do this? You did not do this right. All that. Now, talking to these children about their mistakes is not bad, but the way we put it as parents is what actually affects us. Now, there is also abandonment, that when our parents are not there to guide us, because apparently home should be that place of safety and security. And if we do not get these things, it means we are just growing, and parents are letting the world shape us. Because if I cannot trust my mother, my father, and I cannot open up to them, then that means I will find someone else out there, someone who is ready to listen to me, and someone I can open up to. And sometimes these people may not be good. Maybe they could have intentions and bad intentions, but because at home we are not getting what we expected, then these children end up looking for comfort elsewhere.
Is this why you see, I mean, whoever is watching in the workplaces, we happen to find there are men or women who like hugging all the time. When I went deeper to search about it, it shows that these people did not get enough parental care, enough care for from their parents, and that's why at a certain age they feel hugging each and every person. Even when you meet some people who don't like hugging, there are people who don't like hugging, and then you find somebody who wants to hug everyone. Is this connected to child trauma as well? Childhood trauma that comes into the play?
It is, because everything we were supposed to get at a certain age and we didn't get it, it will find a way of showing up when we are adults. I normally tell people that every one of us has that inner child inside. Much as we never want to accept it, but that is the truth. And if we do not heal, that young child is actually going to dominate our behavior. We are going to behave depending on how the child is feeling. So if I did not get the love and the affection as a child, then when I grow up, because this child stays in there and she is still demanding for it, now I will find ways of giving that to her. Sometimes it is just even subconsciously, you do it unknowingly, that you find yourself doing something, because now this is the way this child is communicating. Like I told you, when I see a mother and a child having fun and enjoying, I feel that heaviness, then this is a way my child is communicating that I would love something like that. Now, even those people that want hugs, I'm actually among those. I also love hugs so much because I did not get them. When I was younger, I lost my mother when I was only 3. And you know, when you lose a parent, you go from home to home, and each home has its different challenges. So I never got that. I'm among those people that would ask for hugs anytime, any day. When I am stressed, when I'm anxious, I would want someone to hug me, because a hug is a reassurance that I am here. I care. I actually care about whatever you are going through. So yes, it is also a sign of childhood trauma.
Wow. It's amazing. And I hope, our viewers are able to learn one or two things. And when you look at a community, in your workplaces, home, you can also identify, you can easily identify this person that has gone through this. And please don't use it against them.
They shouldn't.
I know there are people who say, oh, you like hugs in workplaces, which means you have child trauma somehow, somewhere. Yes, it happens. Of course, especially in the African setup,
Yes.
we always brought up in a rush, in a harsh way, so that we become men or become the women, because we grow up
Responsible.
from very rough environment.
Mm.
When we get to your story, you lost your parent at the age of 3. What happened after?
So when my mother passed on, I stayed with my father for, okay, this is what they tell me, because at 3 you do not remember anything. So one of my aunties told me I lived with her. Then shortly I was transferred to another auntie, and this auntie was also a young girl who had just gotten married. And I want to assume she wanted a child badly, but she hasn't gotten that blessing. So I was the one there. So when I look back, I'm like, she would have embraced the fact that at least she had one,
Yes.
though not biological, because she was a sister to my mother.
Yeah.
But because of whatever she was going through, that's what I think, she ended up mistreating me. She
Yes.
was too rude with me. She abused me. I did a lot of work I couldn't do at the age of 6 or 7.
Yeah.
Now when she conceived, I also had to take care of those children. But I was also a child. I had to go to school, fetch water, wash clothes, all the home chores. I had to do everything. But now, because someone will say, but we all do those things.
Yes.
What was different? Like I said, the way our parents talk to us and the way they act towards us, this is what leaves a mark or leaves us wounded. So the way she was talking to me, she was rude and very rude. She would call you, and people in the neighboring homes would hear her call, yeah, Naka, and we're like, oh God.
Yeah.
What did I do?
Yeah.
Now I come from school, from school you're angry, but you have to first go and fetch water. Then you have clothes to wash, you have utensils, and the children, the babies are also waiting for you. So it was too much on me. At some point, I felt like I was tired.
Yeah.
And they used to tell me, like, you resemble your dad. So I really wanted to see my dad. So now when I got tired and I gathered some confidence to tell them, you know what, I want to go to my father's place. And they just told me they can't take me. Maybe they put me on a bus to take me to my father's, but I said I cannot go alone. So I lived there, but then I felt time came and I felt suffocated. I felt like I couldn't go on any longer. So I had planned to just go and let the world decide where I stop, because I didn't know anyone apart from these people. We didn't visit so much people like auntie or uncle, or I didn't know many. So I said I'll just take my little clothes and just go anywhere, because I was tired. And that very night, it was like a miracle. My auntie from my father's side came to pick me that very night, and I was so excited. Finally, I'm going to meet my dad. I thought maybe things would be different. Yeah, when I got there, my father already had another wife, and she also had kids, but she was working from far from home, and she used to go on Monday mornings and come back Friday evenings. So I would take care of my little siblings. There were 3. I would wake up very early in the morning, prepare them for school. They go, I clean up everything, then also go to school. So I used to go to school late. And this also affected my performance, because it was too much work for me, and my dad was too rude. I didn't feel comfortable home. Now when I went to school, this is where I felt some peace and somewhere I could do whatever I wanted. So now, when I grew up later on, I realized I had some challenges here and there. I didn't know how to speak up. I cried so much that when someone said something hurtful, I would just go in my room or behind the house and just cry. But I felt something was missing. I always felt like there's something I'm not getting, but I didn't know what it was called.
Yeah.
Had not known this name, childhood trauma. So now I also go to secondary. So I left that place, my
Yeah.
father's, and went to my grandma's. I was taken to boarding school. I finished my primary seven. Then also in my secondary school, I went to a boarding school. Now in my secondary school, I had also challenges there. I am this jolly person, always happy, but then I got those episodes of withdrawal,
Yeah.
of sadness. There are those times I felt like I did not want to talk to anyone. I just wanted to be alone. And the thoughts I had were like, I wish my mother was here. Maybe things would be different, because people at home do not love me. They are always abusing me. They are always telling me those bitter words. And why would this world be so cruel like this? I wish my mom never left me.
Yeah.
Maybe as if she went with me wherever she is. Oh God. Now I pray to God for I just wanted to see my mother, because I asked my father if he has any picture of my mother. And okay, he only had one. I asked for it and he said it is the only one he has, so he can't give it to me.
Mhm.
But then I wanted to have, because I did not have that picture in my mind
Yeah.
of my mother, I wanted to look at something every day for the picture to get stuck in my
Yeah.
mind of my mother. So being a Catholic, the month of November, we remember souls of the departed. So that month, I dedicated it to my mother, asking God to at least show me my mother, how she looked like. At least I would know she was like this or this or that. And I had a dream, which I
Yeah.
think that was my mother.
Yeah.
And I was happy because I said, yes, I saw my mom in a dream, but she didn't say anything.
Yeah.
But I got a friend along the way. That friend, I love her so much, even up to now. She's this very person that first showed me that someone can actually care for someone, because we had just met at school. We didn't know ourselves that much, but she would find me isolated and she would ask, Angel, are you okay?
Yeah.
Are you hungry or you're angry? And I would cry. I would be like, okay, at least someone notices that I am withdrawing because maybe I'm going through something. And I love her for that. And then along the way, I also got a boyfriend.
Yeah.
Because in my primary three, after all this, because now when I left my mother's place, aunties, it was the same thing. Even what I found at my daddy's, it is the same story.
Yeah.
And at my grandy's, it's
It's
the
the
same
same.
story. People are rude. They never talk to you with love. They are all loud. I was like, now what is happening? So now I had not heard words like I love you, words like you are beautiful, words like you matter, words like you are enough. Now, I was tired again because I felt sick this time around, and I very much sure knew when I tell people at home, they will say, I just don't want to study.
Yeah.
So that was the first time I thought about taking my life. I looked at life as none, it had no meaning anymore, because if my people at home cannot love me, they take me to school, no one even visits me. Now, what is the essence of living?
Yeah.
So I said, I better end this life once and for all. I had heard of some method that would work easily, that you die without feeling too much pain. And I was actually ready to die. Then someone interrupted me, and
That's the boyfriend.
no, a friend then.
Yeah.
And now, just that very day or the next day, a few days after that,
Yeah.
this boyfriend wrote to me a letter. Oh God.
Yeah.
you know, those primary,
Yeah,
secondary,
later.
high school letters.
Yes.
How he loved me, how I am so beautiful, how I mean the world to him, how I am going to be the mother to his children. And I loved the feeling.
Yeah.
It made me feel like, okay, so someone can tell someone such words,
Yeah.
such beautiful words. How come I've not heard of this? And now this is where some girls make mistakes.
Yeah.
Because you've not heard these nice words. Now, whoever shows up to tell you these kind words, you
Yeah.
can easily give in.
Yes.
But because maybe of my background, that we were so religious, I didn't see myself committing fornication. No. But I told this guy, okay, I love the words. I love you too.
Yeah.
Because no one has told me these words, but we are not going any far.
Yeah.
No, until we finish school.
Yeah.
And this guy loved me. I even told him just a few years back,
Yeah.
like 2 years back when I found him, I told him, you do not know what you did for me.
Yeah.
Because I assume I would have tried the second time to take my life. But now I had a reason
Yeah.
to live, because someone eventually told me that I am beautiful and
Yeah.
that they love me the way
Yeah.
I am.
Yeah.
Imperfect as I was,
Yeah.
for him, he told me he loved me.
Yeah.
And that kept me going for some time.
Yeah.
That I took some time without thinking about taking my life again.
Yes.
So it is a long story,
Wow.
but I thank God I have started on my healing journey, and now I'm better. I show up
Yeah.
better.
When we talk about the boyfriend, the girlfriend, even in marriages now,
Mm.
where we are seeing a lot of marriages breaking up,
Breaking, yeah.
failing,
Mm.
as soon as people get into marriage, and now they are coming out
Mm.
because they're expecting a lot from the men, and the men are expecting a lot from the wives.
Yeah.
I think we need to connect it to
To
where
the
we're
inner
coming from,
child.
the childhood traumas that we go through,
Mm.
which bring us entitlements, expectations, and then you
Attachments.
feel you keep searching for the right man. I've
Yes.
seen the motivational speakers talking about that when the right man shows up to love you right,
Yeah.
that very man will love you right. You know, so wait for the right man to love you right.
Right.
So they are inputting you to expect and be entitled. I think that's what I'll pick out of it.
Mm.
Because yes, they're saying he will love you, but are you ready to love them back?
Okay.
Sometimes we do not have that.
Mm-hmm.
So we think somebody must come to love me for who I am.
Mm.
But are you ready to love them back?
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Mm.
And I think ladies also always expect the men to love them, but also
Yeah.
men need to be loved.
Yes.
We are all human,
We are all
much as we are
humans.
male and female, but I think we're very human.
And we all deserve love. Yes.
Absolutely. So I want you to tell me, how did you start this journey that you're at? You know, how did it come to you? How did you feel that this is an important part of mental health? I would call it, because I relate child trauma to mental health.
Yes.
They are very much connected now.
They are.
So at what point did you choose to go deep and say, I can start this journey and see how I can help the men, the women out there that have had the same experience? So how did it come to you?
Yeah, so when it all started, when I was in my secondary school, of those experiences I told you, but back then I didn't know what it was called. Now I get to work after school, I get to the job environment and dating. Now things worsen, because with my boyfriend, I actually tormented him, I might say, because I expected so much from him he couldn't give.
Yes.
I wanted him to write to me a letter every single day.
Yeah.
And once he did not, he had to hear from me.
Yeah.
Because now I am expecting all the love and attention I missed as a young girl to be gotten from this young man. And that is so tiring. He cannot do that for me. So now when I got into dating, now after school, I kept attracting users, narcissists, psychopaths, because they are also broken in their own way, and I'm also broken. And for some reason, we think we can fix each other. Yes. Which is not right.
A narcissist fixing a narcissist.
We cannot. Unless we find it necessary for us to work on ourselves, we can never fix anyone. So now I always dated these emotionally unavailable partners, people you have to chase. Like, okay, someone comes, approaches you, they love you, but again, you have to chase them.
Yeah.
You send them messages and they do not reply. Now, there is this particular guy I dated that after a few months of dating, he left the country without telling me.
Yeah.
And he was there for 5 years. But on the 4th year, he contacted me on Facebook. He was like, "Hi, Angela, are you married now?" I was like, "Not yet." Been away for 4 years.
Yes.
And he didn't tell me where I was going or what he was going to do.
For good 4 years.
Yes. But because poor me didn't know that if you are in a relationship, you must communicate. You must know what is happening with your partner. Maybe they may not necessarily tell you every detail, but at least you have an idea of what they are doing. And 4 years, no communication, but I expected him to come back and marry me, and I expected him to be a good husband.
Yes.
So he came back, we moved in, we started cohabiting. And this, I was with him for just a few months, 8 months, but I can't say I was happy in this relationship. I was always crying because, like, we are too needy. The people that have gone through trauma are too needy. Like I said, we expect love, attention, everything we did not get from this other person, which is too much for them. So at some point, I do not blame him because I think I asked for too much and he could not give that to me. I actually needed to first heal, to learn to love myself, and to get to know that he cannot be everything I want him to, because he was actually also broken. So now we are cohabiting and he goes out without telling me. He comes back at 5 a.m. He tells me he's from overnight. He tells me, my mother got sick and sorry, I didn't call you. He was so overprotective. There was that time I was working and he knew I left work at 8 p.m. He expected me to be home by 9. If I'm not there, he would call me like 100 times. Where are you? Where did you pass? What is taking so long? And I got tired. And now I looked at those patterns because he was not the first one. Why do I keep attracting the same people with the same character? Why? Could it be something is wrong with me or with them? Now, we agreed to go abroad and work such that when we come back, we have some money and then we can start a family. So he went to Dubai, I went to Saudi Arabia. Now, during that time...
in that time, when you planned all of you to leave the country, and he chose to go to Dubai and you go to Saudi Arabia, was it something that you agreed upon or he had suggested it?
We agreed upon. Okay, he came first. He told me the money you're making here is not enough. And he did not have a job. So he said, why don't you go to Saudi Arabia? Because for you do not need to invest much. Then later on, I can also go when you send me some money. So I started on my process. Then along the way, you also got some money and we started on the process together. We processed these things together. He actually went before me. Then later on, I also went. So we agreed upon it that we are going to work, much as the relationship wasn't that good. But poor me, I believed I will change him. I believed I can do something for him to treat me right, to treat me better than this.
And this is a very common thing with women who are actually in abusive relationships, thinking that that they're going to change the men.
I'll do something for him to change, but it never happens unless this person realizes that they need the change. You cannot force it on them. So when we got there, he started blue-ticking me, ghosting me. I didn't even know about this word ghosting. I was only scrolling on Facebook that I found some psychologists talking about ghosting. So I listened. Oh, so this is what is ghosting. Now, I sent him a message and he took a whole week without replying. Now, this WhatsApp business WhatsApp where you can set those messages. Now I send a message and they give me this message, hey, we are not available now, but we shall get back to you. I was like, what?
Yes.
My boyfriend, how can he say that? Now I didn't know that these things I just said. Now I call one of his friends, the one I know who knows me. I call him, hey, so and so's girlfriend. He was like, oh, so you're still his girlfriend? I'm like, yes, but we even lived together when we were back home. He told me, my sister, if you have a plan B, please. He didn't tell me much, but he just told me, if you have a plan B, please. Because this man, I don't think you are on the same page. But poor me, I was thinking, we've been together for so long, all this time, he cannot just do that. But well, he was doing it. And now when I found this video talking about ghosting, now I start learning how a normal relationship should be. And I was on the contrary, actually, we were doing the reverse. Nothing they are talking about we are doing in our relationship. So now I came to understand probably it is a problem with me. And I need to work on myself. Now I started asking questions. Why do I show up like this? Why do I behave like this? And I kept getting those answers, and one answer led me to another. And before I knew it, I came to realize this is because of how I grew up. Because I was never loved as a child. I moved from place to place, and all the people I lived with were rude. They were never loving or kind. So this is now the normal for me. That whoever is rude, whoever is going away from my direction, now those are the people I keep attracting. So now I got to understand that I had to work on myself. Now, along the way, I found Dr. Bahati Hilda, and she had a mentorship academy, and she was enrolling after I left Saudi
Before
Arabia.
we go to the academy, I need us, when you went to Saudi Arabia to work, how long did you stay in Saudi Arabia?
I was there for a year and 3 months.
Were you working at somebody's house, like we see many girls going in? You were a maid. So wow, that's great. You went as a maid when you're already a nurse. When you're already, with your nurse and the registered nurse, and you chose to go to Saudi Arabia as a maid. What prompted you to go to Saudi Arabia to work as a housemaid when you have your qualifications as a nurse?
Yes, because of the pay here, you are getting peanuts and you are working so hard. You are working 14, 16 hours a day, and at the end of the month they are giving you 300,000. So this is what he was telling me, the money you're making here cannot do anything
and he
for
convinced
us.
you through that?
Yes, he convinced me through that.
How much was your salary in Saudi Arabia?
900,000.
900,000.
So you realize
tripled.
It's triple.
It's triple.
So when I looked at the money, and I said, let me go and try. If I fail, I'll come back. But then I'll be happy that at least
you tried.
Took that leap of faith and tried out this. So I went and worked as a maid. A qualified nurse.
A qualified
and
nurse.
So many qualified personnel are in Saudi Arabia. Because of greener pastures.
And they are doing great. I mean, some people despise people who are in Saudi Arabia to work, but anyone who really travels to fend for the family or to bring some food home, to me, I commend them, because at the end of the day, if you can't have a job right where you're born, and there's somebody who has offered it, why not? And go for it. So to me, everybody who is in Saudi Arabia and you're doing great work, everybody who is, I know we have a lot of young women. We have young women in Saudi Arabia. If you're in Saudi Arabia and you're doing great work, you're bringing food on the table, you're spending money for your school fees for your children, you're taking care of your families, guys, you're amazing and you're doing great work. So yes, we are at Siona Residences. For those who want to know where we do our podcast from, Siona Residences is found at Rubaga Road, just opposite a Miracle Center Church, just after the farmers market. On the left, when you're from Kampala, on the right, that is where Siona Residences is. Yes, go ahead.
Now when I
After
went to
returning,
Saudi
you come back
Arabia,
from Saudi
yes,
Arabia.
actually, when I was in Saudi Arabia, this is when I got time to get to understand who I am,
Yes.
my personality. I told you I asked those questions. Mr. Google helped me answer those.
Yeah.
Why I show up like this, why I feel like this. I got to know about my personality. And we were talking the other day with my other coach. She was like, but you know, our personalities play a part, and then also the experiences we go through also play a part, because I managed to still laugh and smile even when I was hurting inside. As a nurse, I would do my job very well. And
Yeah.
this is what we keep telling people when we talk about mental health, because like you mentioned, they
Yeah.
are too close.
Yeah.
Someone can be productive.
Yes.
They are doing their work well, but they are hurting inside.
Yeah.
After they go from work and they are alone, they are actually crying.
Yeah.
They are depressed. They do not know what to do. But the following morning, they will show up for work.
Yeah.
So I was showing up for work, and yes, but then I always felt something was missing. Now, after asking these questions, I get to land on Dr. Bahati Hilda and about her academy, and I signed up. When I came back, I went for the mentorship,
Yeah.
and I am a certified life coach.
Yes.
So along the way, I started getting to know myself more. I had low self-esteem. I did not know my worth. Like, I just went with anyone who just said, hello, how are you? Who just smiled at me,
Yeah.
because I am not familiar to this, much
Yeah.
as I am craving.
Yeah.
Because it is not that we go for the absence or for the emotionally unavailable because we want to, but because this is what is familiar.
Yeah.
But deep inside, you are craving real relationships, real connection.
Yeah.
You are craving belonging, but you
Yes.
do not know where to start.
Yeah.
Because this was not taught when you were younger. No one told you that you can actually have friends, or people can believe in you, or you can do whatever you do and no one will judge you.
Yeah.
You can speak up. What you are feeling, it is okay.
Yeah.
Because you do not know
Yeah.
these things.
Yeah.
Now, in the Mentorship Academy, I tried branding here and there. I started as a confidence coach, a personal growth coach, because now I was looking at becoming our best self.
Yeah.
After we know that we went through this trauma, how can we become whole again? That now I believe I can do something. I believe I am capable of anything. I believe I can achieve my dreams. And I believe I can be loved right.
Yeah.
Not these people to chase, but I can actually get someone who is emotionally present and someone who appreciates me and I appreciate them the way they are.
Yeah.
Now, I understood, because of my experience, because I have been through it, I can actually help so many out there going through that same experiences.
Yeah.
Those that were not loved as young children, those that did not get the validation and the encouragement as young children, and we can hold each other's hand. We can love to love ourselves,
Yeah.
because you cannot give what you do not have.
True.
It is after you fill up your glass that then you
You
can
can give out.
on the outflow.
Yeah.
So I started on this journey of helping young adults and women heal from traumas,
Yeah.
build emotionally health lives
Yeah.
through inner child work and emotional wellness tools.
Yeah.
This is what I am currently doing.
Wow, that's amazing. Amazing, guys. You see, Angela has been there. She's been to school. She's a registered nurse. She went to Saudi Arabia and worked as a housemaid. After becoming a housemaid, she's back into her profession. She's nurse and she owns herself her own business. And again, she is a life coach. A life coach, is it a life coach?
Yes.
She is a life coach that will take you through the process of becoming the better self of yourself. I know sometimes when relationships fail, we blame the other parties.
Mhm.
But have you ever gone deeper to ask yourself, how come my relationships are always troublesome? Be it a man or be it a woman. Sometimes these traumas, have you explained to your partner and says, look, as I was growing up, I was abused. As I was growing up, I was going through these challenges. And then your partner could realize that and either take you for therapy or some treatment if necessary. And but the only challenge that we see, we always escape it. We always go away. We always run out from it, and we put up the blame game. And the blame game comes in, and once you have the blame game, it's very difficult for you to really heal and go through whatever you go. So thank you so much, guys. Once again, we are at Siona Residences. Siona Residences is at Rubaga Road, the A&B place that is very good for those who live in the USA, Canada, UK, and or Ugandans here who are traveling here, and you'd want to have a place to stay or to live and very comfortable. Please contact Siona Residences and they will be able to get you through. So thank you so much, guys. It's a pleasure, and I would want to thank you as my guest. But before I end my thanks and everything, I'd like to give you 1, 2, 3 minutes of what you feel you would talk to a parent out there and a fellow woman. I know what you're doing is very great, and I must commend you for that, as we need more of these things than actually the actual medication. So in a few words, what would you tell a woman out there who is going through these traumas and has not identified themselves? And maybe you could also share your number with whoever would want to contact you, and then you go through their process of what they are going through. When we look at the marriage counselors, and I think you're also number one before somebody goes for marriage counseling. You are number one, somebody to identify where this person is coming from. When we go for marriage counseling, we never tell our backgrounds. And we always hide them. And when you hide your background, which means the diagnosis will be wrong. And the solutions will also be wrong. So if you're watching out there, guys, just know that even if you're going through marriage challenges, you need to go deeper. And she's here to help you into that. Go ahead.
Okay, to our viewers, especially the millennials.
Yes, the millennials.
Because millennials, it is us that have gone through trauma so much because our parents were this bossy and all toxic, and whatever they say is not repeated. So you can look into yourself and look at those patterns that have been repeating, always asking for too much. You do not know exactly what you need in a relationship. You also can't explain, but you just say, I want someone to love me, but how? Are you able to love them back? So look into yourself. Look at those patterns that have been repeating. Like I told you, I looked at my relationships, and there were these patterns that were repeating in every single relationship. Now sit down and understand where this is coming from. Then that is the start. Self-awareness, self-discovery, then accept, because it is also so difficult for us to accept that actually whatever we went through is what is affecting us now, and it is too bad that our own people, our parents, are the ones that put us through all this. So now we have to accept the fact that we went through trauma, and too bad, caused by our own parents. Then we have to embark on the healing journey. It is not a simple journey, but it is worth. It is worth. Because when we do not heal, we are too needy that we suffocate the other people. We want too much they cannot give. We want a father in that boyfriend. We want a mother in that boyfriend. We want a sister. We want a counselor. We want a therapist. That is too much work for them to do, and they may never be able to meet those needs. So for the mothers, the young mothers, unless we heal, we are going to keep transferring this trauma to our children. The way you are treated is the same way you are going to treat your children. Take an example of a guy who grew up with a violent father,
Yeah.
they find themselves beating their wives. And once you ask them why, they have no answer. So their minds were wired that for someone to show someone that you love them, you have to beat them, which is wrong.
Yeah.
So trauma affects both of us, both the male and the female.
Yeah.
So if you look into your life and spot some of these things we have talked about, your mother was never there to validate you, to give you a hug when you performed well, to thank you when you did something. They were just shutting you up or abusing you and calling you names. You need to heal. You need to do inner child healing, and healing is very possible. We can actually become better when we choose to heal. Otherwise, we are going to keep transferring these pains, these traumas, and the patterns, but we want to break the cycle. We want to be better parents. We want to be better friends, better mothers, better everything. Because when we heal, then we show up better. We become our best selves. And in case you realize you have been there and you spotted anything among what I have talked about, you can please reach out on all socials. I use Angella Nakasagga, and you can get me on WhatsApp on 0777 37 94 78.
Wow, thank you so much. And just take a little bit back. We've seen there was a scandal in Uganda where a house manager, or I would call it a housemaid, was showing battling, torturing a 3-year-old child. And this was so dehumanizing that, well, how would you expect such a big lady treating this child this way? And now when we speak this, then I say, wow, did this person, the parents, find out why this person came to their house as a man? Probably they had child traumas as well. And again, how many in our country, how many people sit down their housemates, their house managers, to ask them before your house manager comes to your house? How many of you sit down these ladies, talk to them, ask them deeply whether they have anything probably that has caused them to work as housemen, or maybe they have traumas in life? Because sometimes somebody comes and becomes your housemaid when you did not even bother to ask them whether they have a little child. Some of them leave little children of 6 months, 3 months, and they come to look for money for them. And then they are taking care of your children, and yet their child is also suffering the other side. And all these traumas, once we cannot identify them, it comes back to our children, I think. So is this common mistreatments we are seeing in our house managers as a result of child traumas? Do you think there are high levels of connection? And if so, how would somebody address this before it retaliates in the family?
Yeah, the fact is, many, if not all of us, in the African setting have gone through at least one
Trauma
experience
Yes.
that left them traumatized.
Yeah.
Now, oftentimes these girls actually are not doing well at home.
Yes.
Their parents are not there. They are not going to school, so they look for something to sustain them.
Yes.
And I have talked to one of the girls who came to a clinic and she wanted to abort. She grew up with her mother, a single mother. And this mother was so abusive that she used to call her names. She used to blame her of why the father left them and he's not giving them any support. And she actually paid for everything, because every time the mother was mad, she would come back to beat this girl. Now she felt enough was enough and she moved out. Actually, she said it is her mother that got her the job to do as a maid.
Yes.
But remember, she is already broken. Now, when she was working, this mother told the boss, send me the money every month.
Yes.
The boss would send the mother the money. The girl did not see the money. For the months she worked, her money was sent to her mother. And this girl was broken. She wanted a phone. She wanted something as a girl. And when she asked mommy for the money, the words she would use. Now she eventually got tired. Now, when she got someone who told her they loved her, she went and started cohabiting with the guy. But because you are broken, actually, what people should know, people are not attracted to us. It is beyond physical.
Yeah.
The energies.
Yes.
Someone can feel the energies and the vibrations.
Yeah.
So they feel you can be manipulated.
Yeah.
They feel it in their soul.
Yeah.
You can be used.
Yes.
So now this girl again got in contact with a user.
Yes.
After getting her pregnant, the guy ran off.
Totally.
Now she was in the house, no rent, no food, no nothing. She's not working. So she wanted to abort. I would also use this opportunity to thank that organization that is helping her. When I reached out, they take care of those girls that are conceived but have no support from the baby daddies. Yeah. Now she's getting all the support she needs. But you see where it led her to?
Yeah.
So imagine this lady, a grown up, she's in someone's house, yes, taking care of these kids, and maybe they're even well off. She's seeing things she did not see. Yes. Remember what I told you, that what I felt when I saw people, a child and a mother connecting? Yeah. Yes, if you're not careful, you can actually do the worst. Why are they enjoying life? Yet me, I didn't. Yeah. You see, now this is what happens when these maids come to these homes to take care of these children. You are good with your children and they have not seen this. Yeah, true. You are giving everything to your child and they have not had this in their lives. Yeah. So it is actually not them, but like we said, that inner child is the one reacting. She would also want that, but she does not know how to ask politely. Yeah. So now you end up mistreating other people's children, beating them up, being rude. You have anger issues. You're always anxious. You're always worried about something you do not even know. So those are the effects of childhood experiences. And unless we accept, because acceptance is also a problem. Yeah. Our parents want to believe that they did their best. Yeah. And I always applaud them for that. They took care of us. They did what they knew how. Yeah. But that does not take away the fact that something is missing, and that is emotional support. That much as they give us the education, the food, the clothing, and all the basic needs, we also need their presence. Wow. Because nothing beats presence. As a parent, always remember, you can buy them the gifts, you can buy them everything, but if you're not present for them to open up, for them to tell you what they are feeling, this is now what we are seeing, that after we leave home, we do not talk to our parents. Yeah. There is no connection. Yeah, true. We never connected as children. Now we cannot connect now. Yes. So you will keep blaming the children of these days. They don't understand where they come from. But do you ever sit down and do a self-check? Yeah. Did you ever connect with this child when they were younger? No. Where do you expect the relationship to come from now? Do you think being a parent is enough? Because everyone can be a parent. Yeah, true. Everyone can give birth. Yeah, everybody can impregnate a woman. Yes, but what makes you different is you being present in your children's lives. Yeah. If we want to see a better generation, emotionally present parents and confident children, parents have got to work upon this. They've got to be present. The maids are raising the children and they are also broken. Parents are too busy looking for money. Yes, we need the money, but we also need your presence because we need to bond. If we never bond, we are going to go into drugs, into prostitution, sleeping around, because apparently you want something to fill that void. Like I told you, you feel something is missing, but you don't know how to call it. Yeah. Even those that sleep around, they think that will fill the void. It does not. Those that go for drugs think it will fill the void. It does not. Only healing will help you fill the void. That you hold that child's hand back home to a place where they feel loved, where they feel important, where they feel they are enough and where they feel they are whole as a human being.
Wow, thank you so much. It's amazing. And I think you've seen that it's important, even when you have a housemaid, to hire her services to come and talk to your maid before you deploy them, to use psychology to understand them where they're coming from, instead of blaming them that all maids are the same. But remember, nobody's born to do that. But because of different challenges, is why they end up like that. So thank you so much, guys. It's a pleasure. Yes, if you want to hire her services and you need probably to bring somebody in your house, you just need somebody to talk to them first to understand, are they going through mental health challenges? Do they have childhood traumas that they're going through before you deploy them to your children? Have you ever asked a maid, do you have a child? Where do you come from? Yes, we always ask them, where do they come from? And they hide sometimes. But go deeper. Do you have a child? Have you ever given birth? Where is your child? Who takes care of your child? How is your mother? All this is very important. You don't go beyond to care for her. It's just because you're trying to protect your children. Because remember, this very housemaid, you leave them with your children, or they can even be catastrophic in your own family. So going an extra mile to make sure we support these children, support these people, it's amazing and it's very important. And it's why Angella Nakasagga is here. So please hire her services and let's make the society a better place to stay in. So thank you so much, and we'll see you in my next podcast.